Hi, everybody. Welcome. Did we do it?
Hey, hi everyone.
Is this working?
Is
Are,
it? I
are
don't know.
we
I'm looking at YouTube. I don't see us.
are we really here?
Oh, no, I think we are. Oh, I think this is just
See,
lagging real
Jesse's
bad.
got
I
a
think we're here.
7-second delay. He's got the TV
Oh,
7-second delay happening.
I
But
sure
for
do.
some reason, my
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
thing is, I see why, because my chat thing wasn't turned on. That's very strange. Hi, everyone. Okay, so this should work now. Yes, there's Jesse's fam. Yay. Okay. Now we're cooking with gas. We're really here.
All
It took
right.
us a minute. We're trying a different camera setup tonight, audio. So we had to mess with that. And Reef said that he was hearing feedback. So I hope it sounds good. That's all I can say. This is American Tradition. That's Jesse over there. I'm Indy, for those who are listening and
It's still me.
not watching. And we're live on a bunch of different places, including Substack. Hi, everyone over there. Welcome. And we got a very special episode tonight. Last week, obviously, we had a little bit of audio troubles with internet connectivity. So Jesse's like, we're not going to, let's not wait. And I wrote something. So let's do something.
Which is true.
Okay, I'm down. So,
and that's rare. At least lately, it's been rare.
Right?
Went from like writing constantly to, since I wrote the last thing for the album, I haven't written anything. I didn't want to look up and see exactly how long that was, because it's just I didn't need to know.
It's been a while. But I mean,
it has. This is true.
Cut the Lights, I think, was the last thing you wrote.
Yeah, that was the last thing.
And I think that was about a year ago, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it sounds right.
Because it was right after summer vacation. So I seem to recall. What's up, Stro? See, now we're getting Kitty TV.
What you gonna do, Stro?
Let's make him big.
My guy.
What's up, dude?
Here we go. He loves to push the hat off. He will snug the hat.
Oh, wait, hang on. I'm blocking him, and now he's gone again.
Come get the hat. Come get the hat.
Oh yeah, that's. Now he's gonna go against the arm of the arm of the chair.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Kisses. Ow. In trouble. He's excited.
Prayer for the Promised Land.
So
Could it have been Prayer for the Promised Land? That's what Cynic is saying.
No,
I think that was after that.
After I wrote Prayer for the Promised Land, and then no, what was what's the one that I'm always nervous to perform? I didn't want to let it change me. I think that was the last thing.
Sure. Yeah.
That sounds right. And Cut the Lights was definitely the last song. But yeah,
Cool.
This one kind of came out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden it's like it was one of those. It was almost like a concept that's also kind of a writing challenge, and I like those, and I think I needed that to really get the ball rolling again. And I'm so happy with how it turned out. I really am, and it really will make for such a fun episode, I think.
Cool. Well, so the idea
you want to kind of get right into it, or
so the idea is that this whole episode will basically explain what it is and what are we doing.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
So this piece, I was on my way home and skipping around radio stations, and I got to the end of Patience by Guns N' Roses. And the radio DJ, she came on after the song, and she didn't say that was Patience by Guns N' Roses. She said Patience from Guns N' Roses. And I liked, for some reason, that just caught my ear. And it made me think about the little difference and distinction there is to be made if you talk about learning a song, particularly that one. What a difference the sentence I learned Patience by Guns N' Roses is than I learned Patience from Guns N' Roses. That's just so dramatic sounding. So then I started thinking, what other song titles and or artist titles would have that kind of cool double meaning? If you were talking about knowing a song or learning a song or hearing a song or songs that we all know, how many of those would have that kind of meaning, and could I do something with that? So I started writing this with the idea of seeing what I could do with that. And very quickly it began to snowball. And then it was one of those things, there were probably 3 or 4 different points that I was like, okay, this is the end. And then a couple hours later I came back, and then the next morning I'm looking over it, I'm like, yep, that's the last line. No, you know what? And then I got to work and added on a few more parts, and after a few days it finally hit that end part where I was like, okay, no, this is definitely it. I'm satisfied. And then once I start thinking about sharing it on here, there are so many Easter eggs, because obviously there are a lot of really well-known songs in here, but I also didn't want to just name drop something just to name drop. I wanted to try to still tell a story and do something with it. I listen to a lot of different stuff, and so there are some references in here that are certainly more obscure ones than others, and some that are just outright not as surface level. There are some that I would like to think wouldn't catch for everybody right away, but then once you go back through, maybe they will. There were even a couple that I didn't intend on, and then I look back, I'm like, well, that's a Peter Gabriel song. I mean, that counts. You know, there were a couple moments like that. So my tally right now for this piece is 105 musical references to bands or artists. But I wouldn't be surprised if after tonight somebody points out one that I hadn't seen. At least that's what I'm hoping for. So yeah, I think that's about it. I will do a read through, and obviously we'll scan with the lyrics, but then I do want to literally go line by line after, and I'll just go ahead and point them out as we go, just to, show all the tricks.
Well, damn, Fred Edward.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So I missed it, man.
Still fighting the propaganda. Actually survived a Widowmaker heart attack September 29th.
Holy shit.
Had a stent inserted about 7:30 a.m. Central. Signs are good for recovery, and I'm feeling like, oh, dude, well, feel better, man. Holy shit.
Christ, dude.
Glad you're still here. Yeah,
right?
Fuck, dude, lucky that you got help when you did, because that's no joke.
Seriously.
Damn. John H., good to see you, man. How are you? Dude, I see Descent in Bloom is here. Kieran Pine, how are you, man? Thank you, really, for helping. We're working on this Halo Benson, Aspen Benson benefit thing, and Kieran's involved in that. I saw Charlie's here, and man, yeah. So, anyone want to let us know what's going on in the Yankee game? That would be cool. I have no problem finding out. Seven Side is over on Substack too. Go ahead. What?
I don't remember much of last week's show, if we're being honest. Full disclosure, folks, I had my first ever, like, legitimate panic attack of my life last Thursday, about 30 minutes before the show. Not because of the show, just work, life, etc. But it was like, as soon as okay, my breathing slowed down and my chest doesn't hurt. Oh Christ, I gotta go turn on the laptop. We're going live. It was like that. But that's why I was so out of it when we were on. Not only just, again, life gestures, but I still, it felt like someone had just stomped on my chest a bunch, because it was a very ridiculous chest pain that at first, my wife came in the living room and I was like, I think I'm having a heart attack. And she looked at me for a minute and watched me breathe. She's like, motherfucker, you're having a panic attack. Strap in,
Oh my God.
But yeah. So I think, did I mention the tower of cans falling on me at work?
Yes.
That day? I think I did. Okay. So I heard them today talk about that incident, and they referred to it as a near miss with potential fatality. And I'm like, it felt like that. That's good to have that reassurance because it felt like I almost died.
At least you have like third-party confirmation.
Thanks for vindicating me there, safety guy.
Wow. Partial to potential fatality. Yes.
Yep.
So thank goodness that didn't happen. That could have been a whole big mess.
So I was like, I was like, that makes sense that night. While all of a sudden I was just like, I just couldn't, like, I couldn't keep my shit together. It was more traumatic than I gave it credit for sure.
You said it was what, 80 cans or something?
It was 100 cases.
Oh, 100 cases.
Each of those is 24. So 2,400 cans.
Oh, God. Just to hear that, like, oh yeah, I was avalanched by 2,400 cans. Yep. Okay.
Yep. And then they hit and they all start just exploding and pissing everywhere. And it's my least favorite of the things we can, if I'm being honest. And it's just like, oh, it just epoxied on me. I was like a thin shellac.
Damn. All right. Well, so yeah,
okay.
last week,
Speaking
I don't know
of
what the hell
shellac,
was going on, but
I got into shellac finally. I think I mentioned them last year. I was talking about bands I was trying to get into. A lot of them were missing the mark for me. I said shellac was one of them. I believe, if memory serves, that I joked last year that maybe I'm not depressed enough to get into this record. Well, the other day I gave it another shot. I was like, damn, this record's fucking dope. This is really good. This shit hits hard. So anyways, I've been really enjoying shellac lately, and I got a shellac reference in here too.
Oh, Mouse SF.
I am absolutely
shellacked right now. That's great.
I don't know if we got any shellac or specifically Steve Albini fans among our fam, but I am definitely getting into some of his recording methods, specifically for drums at the theater that I've been running sound at. I tried out his drum setup, specifically doing your overheads instead of having them above your cymbals and crash and kind of picking up all that, putting them basically behind the drummer over his shoulders to try to get what the drummer hears sitting at the kit. And I love that idea, and it sounds fucking excellent. It sounds really, really good. So I love that kind of approach. So I've been trying some of that out, and especially for like the right kind of band, if you get just some rock band, some alternative, something nice and raw, it sounds so damn good. It really does.
So all right, I've got this thing kind of set up, queued up in my screen for the set list. You can see it still, right?
Okay. Yes, I sure can.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
I'm ready. We'll do a read through and then we'll go back through and pick it apart.
All right. I'm gonna share this, put you up there, put this up, and I'm gonna mute myself. So this is it, folks. The set list.
Okay. Yeah, here we go. For the first time, this is the set list. We all listened to yesterday, and we know every word. And we know how it ends, yet we started again, and we belt every verse. We have gathered by thousands, and we sang like a prayer. And we praised the Madonna, whose voice was electric and rang in the air. Now some traveled merely to journey, and can say that they've listened to lights. Like a rock cannot hide you, and barks at the moon as it laughs at the moves of the night. And yet we heard hallelujah, and we spoke it in tongues. Now watch us unravel. Soon we'll be naked, committed, unsung. We have heard them say yes, and we've seen all good people blister in the sun. We all learned patience from Guns N' Roses, some both at once. Save for those fortunate few and their fortunate sons. Saving a portrait of Tracy like toys in the attic, aging it 10 years for your every one. Like, give me one reason why I shouldn't run. I was born in the US of A, where the greatest of fears is a planet as black as the crows and the flags and the smoking guns. Like the blackest parade when the Sabbath has come, and they dance to the beat of a different drum.
They dance all over you as the lightning comes crashing like words down to earth that had just kissed the sky. Onto you and I both, two of us, I alone and you and I. I guess you get what you give when you're given to fly. And if you listened, the animals told you a place you could wait for the sun to rise, where the super unknown gazes back in your eyes and it whispers, remember the time. And you stare like a fool in the rain, and you know it's the wrong way, but it feels sublime. Like the 10th revolution when nobody thought that we'd make it past number 9. I guess you get what you give, and you're given a bottle of time. Now, if you could save it, what's the first use that pops into your mind? Between me and the buried, from first to the last, from autumn to ashes, I'll keep yours with mine. And nothing else matters. Anyone can see. You are not alone if you can't hear the forest above all the screaming of trees. You might not feel the chorus, but the hook brings you peace. For the true sound of silence is sometimes the song that you actually need. And it rings in the wherewithal, loud as it ever could sing. And it echoes so pure from the cloudless azure to the court of the Crimson King, where the joker and thief once spoke on the crumbling of things, and both of them since have been tied to the whipping post, counted for rings. But a garden of sound grew, where their blood touched the sand, where on black days they fell, and will blow it to hell with the burden at hand, where we gather like embers to exclaim, what a man! And lay all of our sympathies down for the devil, how sinfully simple the plan. It's hard hearing the beetles start buzzing like black flies in swarm. It's hard holding a candle against the chill wind and November downpours. But the moths rush the flame still, just like pigs to a war. And those men that you locked in the littlest box can find faith here no more. As sleep's most sacred silence rolls like smoke 'neath green doors, crosses out on the water and offers a token for taking a tour, where you'll see no houses with roses, just all of the bodies we let hit the floor. No que sera, no c'est la vie, and no hymn l'amour. I wish I was special. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. Like I didn't scream myself hoarse, calling, oh my sweet Lord, to the one true God listening to me. She commanded, breathe with me. So I breathed in the air. And behind blue eyes, I was shot through the heart by the weight of her stare. She asked, who do you love? I asked if I didn't care. Then I said if I fell, that I'm still here in free fall and just unaware. Then pretend you're free falling, she replied with a smirk. No one knows when they're landing, but yes, it all falls down and everyone hurts. She said, follow my way on this benzodrine frequency. Maybe you'll fall in reverse. Maybe you'll call me when all that you built for a spill is beginning to burst. When all of the cool, clear water on earth only worsens your thirst. When yesterday feels like it's buried beneath a whole decade of influence shrouding the verse. I truly commend you if you should so choose to remember the words. And so spoke the goddess, who fell for me hard and acts just like a nurse. I forget how it ends. Start it again. We'll count in the verse. That is the set list.
That's a clean take for the set list, too. That was solid, man. Wow. Yeah, dripping in references and innuendos and double entendres and damn. Okay. Yeah. I like it. I like it. I like it. You know, it's like an ode to rock and roll or something, you know?
Right.
It reminds me of like songs that kind of do that a little bit and make reference to, but don't really just go through it the entire way through. So that's great. You know, it's just like an entire piece of those references. Effectively. You know, Yeah, kick ass. So, let's see if I put it here, you can see it there. All right. Just
Yeah,
to start.
I wanted something fairly strong out the gate that like really played off the whole point I was trying to get with what I felt like the strongest moments in here were when that meaning gets as much use as it can. And I feel like for this, like listening to yesterday, knowing the words, knowing how it's going to end, and starting it again with gusto is the best, like choosing to fucking do another day, you know, making your best decision to keep getting in there and swinging, knowing what you're in for, and that in itself is fairly admirable.
Especially right now. Hell yeah.
You know? So yeah,
Um,
I it's hard for me to really engage in a lot of like metaphor and not feel like you're just disappearing up your own ass. It's for the same reason that as much as I love writing poetry, I find it hard engaging with a lot of other poets, because a lot of time I listen to people talk about their work, I'm like, oh, I don't want to sound like that, you know? But I also I feel like I need to kind of let some of that go a little bit, because ultimately of course I know what I'm talking about because I wrote it, but I feel like I sell myself short a little bit by not trying to articulate that a little bit better, because I don't want to sound pretentious. But like with that verse, like I knew exactly what I was going for and what I wanted to get across with it. And yesterday obviously works so well to like have the full knowledge, know yesterday by heart, and say one more time, you know.
now it looks as
Not
though
that
they're
I
here to
want it to
stay.
be like oh yay.
I got the assignment.
You sure did. Awesome. So yeah, obviously there's yesterday Beatles. And same with like a prayer. I'm like, you know, gathering in a big group, singing like a prayer, praising the Madonna.
The Madonna, but not Madonna, but it fits. Right?
So any of those that I could, so I'm like, okay, let's keep it going. How much can we play with that? So traveling merely to journey, traveling, you're going to see
listening
Journey,
to light. Yeah,
and you could say that
we've
you've
all
listened to
listened to
Light,
lights,
right?
right? Or and again, Wheel in the Sky. You could have done a bunch of different references there. You know,
Now there's a few that I kind of I wheel of fortune into one phrase, like a rock cannot hide you. Obviously, like a rock, Bob Seger. The Rock cannot hide you. Sinnerman, Nina Simone. Bark at the Moon, and Night Moves. Ain't it funny how the night moves, as it laughs at the moves of the night?
Sure. So you're kind of intertwining.
Hallelujah.
Sure. And who
Hallelujah
did the
is
Hallelujah
obvious.
song?
Jeff Buckley.
Right. Hallelujah.
Watch Us Unravel. Soon We'll Be Naked. Sweater song. Weezer. That I then blended into Committed on Song, which is a title and artist of a really great hardcore band. For all my Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 fans, you know that song even if you don't know the name of it. And I was really proud of this. We've heard them say yes, and we've seen All Good People, Blister in the Sun. Obviously, I've seen All Good People by Yes and Blister in the Sun, Violent Femmes. And then the line that I first wrote down that I built all of this around, which is we all learn patience from Guns N' Roses, some both at once.
That's really funny. Again,
I was really
from
happy
Guns
with,
N' Roses,
you know,
versus we all learn about patience from Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
You know, the double reference there was great. Fortunate Sons, obviously you got CCR, right?
Portrait of Tracy is a Jaco Pastorius song. I don't know if we got any Jaco people. But actually the sample, a sample from Portrait of Tracy by Jaco Pastorius is what runs through Redbone by Childish Gambino, the boom. has a little slide part in it from Portrait of Tracy. And then Toys in the Attic, Rolling Stones.
No, that's Aerosmith.
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
And then 10
I was
years gone.
homeschooling.
10 years gone. Led Zeppelin.
Yep. And then I came back to Give Me One Reason off of the Tracy mention a minute ago. Since I got Tracy
here,
in,
right.
I figured I could throw in Give Me One Reason. Obviously, Born in the US of A, Born in the USA, Springsteen. Then I ran into Fear of a Black Planet, Public Enemy. So where the greatest of fears is a planet as, and then I went a couple Black Crows, Black Flag. A planet as black as the crows and the flags and the smoking guns. Like the Blackest Parade, Black Parade, My Chemical Romance, obviously Black Sabbath, and then You and I Dance to the Beat of a Different Drum. Which I then rolled into a couple references to the band live, as I have All Over You and Lightning Crashes. Kiss the Sky, obviously from Purple Haze.
Jimi Hendrix.
And then maybe my favorite line in the whole piece is On to You and I Both, Two of Us, I Alone, and You and I, respectively Jason Mraz, The Beatles, Live Again, and Yes Again.
Sure. I Alone, Two of Us, Chasing Rainbows. Right?
Yep.
Nice.
And then Yes song And You and I.
Yep, that's one
Yes,
of my
you get what you
favorites.
give. New Radicals, you get what you give. When You're Given to Fly, Pearl Jam.
Wait, wasn't that White Stripes? No, that's you got to get what you something, but not get what you give.
What you give is that's the New Radicals.
I'm thinking of something.
Now you got the music in
I
you.
got you. You got Given to Fly, Floyd.
Yeah, Given to Fly, one of my favorite Pearl Jam songs. That record actually, Yield, is such a beast. Do the Evolution is probably my favorite Pearl Jam song if I had to pick one. And if you listen, The Animals Told You a Place You Could Wait for the Sun to Rise. Animals, House of the Rising Sun.
Sure.
Where the Super Unknown, Soundgarden, gazes back in your eyes, Peter Gabriel, and it whispers, Remember the Time, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Writing this was so satisfying, more than maybe anything I've ever written, because I also feel like even though there's still an emotional heaviness to it, it's not political. There's a little bit of societal stuff, but for the most part, even though there's some intensity to it, I feel like your brain is constantly hearing references that you know that usually have a positive connotation. And it's very rare that you get to read something like that not to jerk myself off here, but to have like a story that you're telling someone that is something new, but it's pieced together with things they're already familiar with in a way. Even if they don't immediately recognize it, I feel like your brain hears some of these and there's little positive connotations going on. At least there is for me, even as I reread it. And You Stare Like a Fool in the Rain, Led Zeppelin, and you know it's the wrong way, but it feels sublime. Again, I'm like, is this a little too cheesy? I'm like, fuck it, let's do it. Let's just go for it. Let's leave.
Might as well. You're airing it out as it is, so we're
exactly
going there. Revolution,
like the 10th
9.
Revolution, when nobody thought that we'd make it past number 9. And yes, Sean, I am going to make a Spotify playlist of this whole thing, all the songs in order on here. Guess You Get What You Give, and You're Given a Bottle of Time. Now, if you could save it, what's the first use that pops into your mind? Obviously, Time in a Bottle, Jim Croce.
And Get What You Give.
This little triple run of metal bands between The Buried and Me, From First to Last, and From Autumn to Ashes. Those just worked in like vow kind of context for that line. And that was the original first stopping point of the piece, was From Autumn to Ashes, I'll Keep Yours with Mine. That's where I had it stop. And then the next day, I picked right back up where I was, and Nothing Else Matters. Anyone Can See, which is a great little twisting Nothing Else Matters into Nothing Really Matters, Anyone Can See, from Bohemian Rhapsody. So the Anyone Can See has a little assist there to get its point across. You are not alone. Again, Michael Jackson. If you can't hear the forest above all the screaming of trees, screaming trees.
Sure.
You know what's funny, Mouse, is today I was like, fuck, I should have fit When Doves Cry somewhere. How did I not get When Doves Cry? There's no Prince in here. Which doesn't mean there couldn't be a part 2 eventually. You might not feel the chorus, but the hook brings you peace. The hook, Blues Traveler. For the true sound of silence is sometimes the song that you actually need, which tattoo that on my forehead. And it rings in the wherewithal, which is tragically hip. Loud as it ever could sing, and it echoes so pure from the cloudless azure to the court of the Crimson King, King Crimson. Where the Joker and Thief once spoke on the crumbling of things, the first line of All Along the Watchtower. And both of them since have been tied to the whipping post, Allman Brothers, counted for rings, Aesop Rock. Then I did tuck a few little Soundgarden things all in once, but a garden of sound grew where their blood touched the sand, where on black days they fell on black days, and will blow it to hell, blow up the outside world, with the burden at hand. Burden in my hand. I was like, okay, let's get some 90s R&B, where we gather like embers to exclaim, what a man. Salt and Pepper? Salt and Pepper, was it?
Yeah.
Or was that?
SWV,
no, that was Salt and Pepper.
SWV, Salt and Pepper. What? Well, it's all blended.
And lay all of our sympathies down for the devil. Sympathy for the devil. How sinfully simple the plan. Simple plan. It's hard hearing the Beatles, obviously, start buzzing like black flies in Swarm. Black fly. This one I really amalgamated a few. So you get November Rain. Hard to hold a candle in the cold November rain. Against the Wind, and Candle in the Wind. It's hard holding a candle against the chill wind and November downpours. So that's a triple. I'm counting it. My judges, yep, we're counting it as a triple. But the moths rush the flame still, just like pigs to a war. More pigs. And those men that you locked in the littlest box, man in the box and little boxes, can find faith here no more. Faith no more.
I was thinking heart-shaped box, but sure.
Oh, yeah. As sleep's most sacred silence of sleep. 2 different System of a Down songs, actually. Rolls like smoke neath green doors. Green door. Crosses out on the water, so smoke on the water. And offers a token for taking a tour, a sleep token.
Green Door is one of my favorite covers you've done. What's that secret?
I love that song so much.
Dude, that's such a killer cover that you did of that one.
Thank you.
Going back
where you'll see no houses with roses. That's a selfish one. That is from Preaching the End of the World by Chris Cornell, which I played on here once. Is probably my favorite song of all time. So where you'll see no houses with roses, just all of the bodies we let hit the floor. Drowning pool bodies. No Que Sera, no C'est La Vie, and no Him L'Amour. Wish I Was Special, Creep. And straight Nina Simone song title, I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free. Like I Didn't Scream Myself Hoarse, calling Oh My Sweet Lord, George Harrison, to the one true God listening to me. Shellac, their most famous song, Prayer to God, starts to the one true God. She commanded, breathe with me, Prodigy, breathe. So I breathed in the air, Pink Floyd, breathe. And Behind Blue Eyes, The Who. I was shot through the heart, Bon Jovi, by the weight, the band, of her stare. She asked, who do you love? George Thorogood. I asked if I didn't care. I asked if I didn't care, the Ink Spots. Then I said if I fell, the Beatles, then I'm still here in free fall, Dixie Dregs, and just unaware. Then pretend you're free falling, Tom Petty. She replied with a smirk. No one knows when they're landing, but yes, it all falls down, Kanye West, and everyone hurts, REM. She said, follow my way, again, Chris Cornell, on this benzodrine frequency, REM, what's the frequency, Kenneth? Maybe you'll fall in reverse, falling in reverse, metal band. Maybe you'll call me maybe, when all that you built for a spill, built to spill, indie band, is beginning to burst.
There's also
when all of the cool, clear water.
Call Me Blondie.
Oh yeah. When all the cool clear water on earth only worsens your thirst. Cool clear water. Marty Robbins. Yesterday again, which we're only counting once. When yesterday feels like it's buried beneath a whole decade of influence shrouding the verse. Taking Back Sunday's most famous record, Decade Under the Influence. And the final reference in it is in that second to last line. And so spoke the goddess who fell for me hard and acts just like a nurse, the nurse who loved me, a perfect circle. And
Sure.
that is 105 music references.
Start again, and we'll count in the verse.
We did it.
So he counted. You should say that's 105 references for all who count, for those scoring at home, for those keeping score at home. That's
Right.
actually, there's an old radio host that used to say, like, he used to read, when he did his live ad reads, he would say LV 254 for those keeping score at home, and I know you are. Like, he would just read whatever the ad read was off the piece of paper that was in front of him.
Yep.
And yeah, that's wild. I'm glad you're inspired to write again and to put something like this together.
For sure. And that was a big, like, that felt really good. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. Now I'm ready to write again, and I got to record before I can write another record. So
yeah,
got to get my ass recording.
Well,
I tell you what, though, man, I still, like, every other day I keep hearing something new, and I'm like, oh, that's going on. Because I want it to be a very rich experience of all your little skipping station moments. I want there to be so many good quotable lines that people won't have any clue what they're from. One of my favorites I heard the other day was, it's like insanity as the ultimate pragmatism. And I love that line so much. And I'm using that on the record.
Was that Snow Himbo? That sounds like something Himbo would say.
No, it does sound like Himbo. It totally does.
Right?
Oh, that's great.
You got to play some of them references. Well,
oh God, I hadn't planned on it. Not to say that we couldn't.
I didn't bring anything like that. Ryan Bradley is over on Rumble. Good to see you, Ryan. 4th of July Soundgarden. I believe there were some Soundgarden references in there.
4th of July wasn't, but yeah, we had Blow Up the Outside World, Burden in My Hand, Fell on Black Days, and then 2 Chris Cornell solo references, Follow My Way and Preaching the End of the World. Chris seeing a lot of mileage in here.
Yes, but no Rush references, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Wow. Interesting to see who didn't make the cut or just didn't enter the mind as something that, I mean, dude, you could do these, like, stuff like this.
Well, there were a few things that I thought of, and it just, I didn't want it to feel like I was just name dropping something for the sake of name dropping. I wanted it to feel like there was still a point to each verse, and the titles happened to be there, not the other way around. Not that I was going out of my way to lead to where I could use something. There were a couple things that I was like, I can't find a way to make that fit. And then I thought of a few other things, and I just left that one on the side of the road. And there were a few that
it reminds me of, like, the
I'll come back for,
in a way.
I told them I'll come back. Yeah. Yep.
You know, and that like, you think it's almost done, and then no, it's still got life. It's still going because you still got more in there.
Yep.
That's some good stuff. That's good stuff. I like the "and you and I" reference, and that's a rare one people don't pull. That's so good.
Yep. The bass slaps so hard in that song for being as, like, soft and pretty and chimey as the song is. When the bass comes in, dung 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 dung, it's huge. It's so good.
Yeah, Chris Squire really knocks you out on that one.
I used to love, so any of my friends, when I first got my car, I would go over, and I was getting into Yes, and I remember a few different friends that I was like, hey, you got to hear this record. So we'd be sitting in the car and smoke a couple bowls. And I'm like, okay, just listen to this. And I'd put that song on and I'd turn my bass up like fairly high in the car. So that you get the really pretty soft little intro. And then there's just this thunk, 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 thunk. Like it just shakes the sides. I loved it. I loved it so much.
And when you're high, it's not really fair to do that to people that don't know what's coming.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
It'll fuck them up pretty bad.
Well, I think I told you the first time I had my brother listen to Super, which song is it? Super Size on the Grift? Yeah. The end of Super Size, the Guess It's All Fun and Games Till the Feds Arrive.
Well, that's Super Starver.
We were in Super Starver, thank you. We were at the end of that. We were listening in his car and smoking a joint. And he was like very into the song, and then that hits and the happened, and he thought someone was knocking on the car door and jumped. And even though I knew what was happening when he jumped, I still jumped, and we both were like, "What the fuck?"
So good. Yes, R.I.P. Chris Cornell. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
That was a rough one. So yeah, 105 references to classic rock, and it's just an ode to the classic rock station set list. I like it. And now, is that something that you're planning on adding to Clandestine?
You know, I'm thinking about it because I mean, it fits in a way. I'm like, if there's the right kind of a moment where I could fit that in, I wouldn't mind it. But it could also fit on just any collection of random poetry, you know. It's one more reason to potentially put out just a B-sides and anything that wasn't fit for another collection, kind of a oddballs, outcasts, and miscellany kind of a collection. Because that would be fun. Obviously, recording just spoken word stuff takes very little time, and that's something that I could have as kind of a little extra project after I do Clandestine Radio. Have another thing that I can have done within a couple months that's just nice and straightforward like that. So I don't know, we'll see. I don't want to have too much distraction, isn't the right word. There's going to be an awful lot of non-political moments already on Clandestine Radio, but they are specifically consumerism heavy to just kind of bathe you in the idiocy of radio, half how it is and half how I just perceive it to be, I think. But I really want that to be thick with it. Kind of an NPR version of like Six Sad World. So we'll see if this doesn't feel a little too, I don't know what the correct word, somewhere between serious and long-winded. Not that I feel like it is, but I specifically want the breaks in that consumerism bullshit to be something very political and something that does feel like the station just got hijacked a little and you're hearing something that you're not supposed to hear or that you're not usually allowed to hear.
Pirate radio.
Which is getting truer by the day. And this doesn't fit in that regard. Everything else is either part of the background noise, as it were, like something like Outsourced that can just be a song on the radio, or something like I Didn't Want to Let It Change Me. That is someone who's fearful for what they say being heard, but they're saying it anyway. So I don't know that this doesn't fall into some gray area. But that said, since it's got all these references, it feels like if it isn't fitting on a radio themed concept record, what the fuck would it fit on? But I don't want to force it. So we'll see where it sits.
Incubus could be another one that we reference out down in the next one.
Right.
No,
so yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff already that I'm like, shit, yeah, I definitely could have, if I wanted to keep going, I could have. That was a fun thing. It was a nice writing exercise, kind of, that gave me a lot of ammo to work with. I'm definitely getting more congested as I talk. Fun fact: I started getting a cold today as the day went on. I'm like, am I getting congested? I sure am. And all of a sudden, it's just like set in. But yeah, I was very, very excited to read this and do the breakdown. Because there aren't a lot of pieces that I get to have like that many Easter eggs in. And if I do, it's usually something more like, remember when that senator said this about us and how they didn't care if we died? You know, it's something like that you don't necessarily want to remember. Easter eggs that you tried to block out. So these are like fun. Hey, you know that song? Like, I know. Sometimes it's nice to do something that's just fun for people.
No, this
Even though it
is
still feels
a big
has
member
a very
berry
serious
exercise.
tone. It really is like it still feels fairly intense of a read, but yeah, it's got all these fun little nostalgia bumps for you along the way.
Member berries, That's
Remember?
I don't have South Park references on here, but that's something I should add to my soundboard. But yeah, that's I will say we'll give it some applause for sure. We do have that golf claps. But yeah, I mean, so any further idea on recording timeline? I know you just did this one. Anything further with?
Well, you know, I don't work this weekend. And if I feel anything like I think I'm going to be feeling, I won't be going much of anywhere of my free will. So I'm planning on hunkering down in the basement this weekend and really spending some time getting things rolling. I'd like to have some stuff set up so that as soon as I sound good, I've got tracks ready to come in and just put some vocals on. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do all the non-vocal stuff I can this weekend and start kind of getting everything primed. And yeah, I mean I definitely want to have it out before the end of the year, but we'll see how soon I can make that happen. I might want to get it and then sit on it for another poignant date that's like got some, you know, we've had a few good holiday release dates and stuff like that. I'd like to find something fairly significant to put this one out on.
Well, it was a Christmas present a couple of years ago. We got Extremist, right?
Yep. That was a Christmas. I'm trying to think if I've done a Christmas Eve as well.
I thought it was Christmas Eve you put one out. Not Christmas night, but
but then I have the New Year's Day was Geiger Age. 4th of July was the Grift. Election Day was the Co-opt. And War Crime Jams to Port 2 was on 9/11. Never forget.
Jeez. Well, you're probably not going to make it in time for Thanksgiving. Yeah, Christmas Eve is what Cynic was saying. Don't rush because Christmas and you're traveling. I guess you're going to travel again.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. But yeah, we'll see. So I got we're going to Tennessee in a couple weeks for a few days to see some family. So I'm going to use some of that time too. I'm going to bring the laptop. Anytime that I don't have to worry about work now, I can do that. I'm also excited too. I think I mentioned before that the theater I'm running sound at said if I ever want to bring stuff in and run it through their mains and adjust my mixes and play around with mixes and stuff there, I'm welcome to do that. So I'm going to be taking them up on that for final mix for Clandestine Radio for sure, because they have a great system. It'll be really nice to get to hear that full on.
And then the Tennessee, that's where you wrote the Cut the Lights, right? That was the spot.
That was where I wrote a few of the lyrics, and then as soon as we got home from that trip and got out my guitar, I ended up writing the song. But yeah, that was the inspiration for it for sure. Oh, God, the other night, I ran sound for a Smashing Pumpkins tribute band, who were phenomenal. And I normally don't want to I don't want to ask like, hey, are you guys gonna play whatever? But I also like I couldn't help myself. I'm like, how can I tastefully ask if they're gonna play Mayonnaise? Because like I need to hear that song live. And so it's like, hey, I understand if you don't want to give spoilers out, but is there gonna be Mayonnaise on the menu tonight by chance? And the singer, who was an otherwise fairly stoic dude, kind of laughed a little bit. He's like, yeah, we're gonna play Mayonnaise tonight. Let's fucking go. What I didn't expect was I was just gonna ugly cry the whole time. Like left the booth and went down into the pit to get up to the stage, and just like I was not the only person either. There were a bunch of just like full on crying ass dudes down there.
It hit the
That's just one of those songs
button,
that,
huh?
as soon as it starts, I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. Oh shit, oh fuck. It's just so good. It's so good.
See, I don't get many songs like that. Maybe thankfully, maybe not. I don't know, to my own detriment, but
oh man.
I get like the hairs on my arm get raised. It's not necessarily that.
Oh yeah.
Like, and I get that often, but not moved to that level of emotion for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Oof, Mayonnaise is one of those, man. That's some of the best guitar work ever. Like the beginning of just the little intros and stuff in that song, and then when it comes in nice and heavy, it's that perfect '90s, just distorted but clean at the same time, and low as fuck tuning. It's just it's so damn good. It's so good.
Smashing like Pumpkins, baby. 1979. That's what I think of immediately when I think of that, and tonight. You know,
they opened with that. They came out to tonight. I'm like, damn, y'all are. Or no, I'm sorry. They did Cherub Rock.
Well, that
first as like an intro song, so the
good,
drummer could kind of get that rip in. But then tonight. But we even got like Adore, just like some stuff that they really, it wasn't just like all the hits. Like here's some tastefully chosen deep cuts. No Luna, which was disappointing, but between Luna and Mayonnaise, I get there's only room for so many slow songs, and I'll take Mayonnaise any day. So
for sure. Yeah, a lot of the Pumpkins cover band. That's something you don't get very often. And it's funny
because there are bands that I'll see like, isn't it a little soon to do a tribute for this band? I'm like, oh wait, oh no, that was 30 years ago. No, it's okay. Yeah, it's totally fine. Go ahead, keep doing what you're doing. It also, again, like when I ran sound for that Doors tribute, and I'm not a huge Doors guy, but I was watching this band and I got the chills. Me and the other sound guys was like instant goosebumps. Like when there's a band that you can tell it matters to them to kind of spread the gospel, and they really dedicate themselves to it enough, like that's really impressive to see. And not all tribute bands are like that, but when you get the ones that really, like, it means a lot to them to put on a good show on behalf of a band they fucking love, like you get some really good people. You really do. And I didn't think I was a tribute band guy, but man, I've seen some fucking killer ones that, like, again, especially now, like, sure, I'd love to go see Smashing Pumpkins. I also don't have $350 American dollars to just fucking throw away on going and listening to everyone sing around me and, $20 hot dogs. So getting to do this and getting to like sound check those bands and meet those bands, and it's a really neat experience. But those guys were fantastic across the board. But Mayonnaise, especially, the guitar is fucking hard on that song, and it was so perfect. Anyone that's not heard that, like, I implore you, like, even if you're not a huge Pumpkins fan, can't stand Billy's voice, listen to the beginning of this song, and it's just the most quintessentially perfect, clean little 90s guitar run that it just inject in my veins, please.
Fred Edwards says that I shampoo with no more tears, and actually I would say that I shampoo with tears for fears, not no more tears, but Angel, we got to win. We got to win. We're moving on. The Yankees have defeated the Red Sox 4-0. Cam Schlitter, that's just a great name, by the way. And he's from the Boston area. Beats his own hometown Red Sox to eliminate them from the playoffs. I love that. I love sending the Red Sox home for sure. So suck it, all you Sox fans. Sorry, Charlie Mack.
Suck it, Sox. Sorry.
But yeah, man. I just I saw you were here, so I'm like, oh, game must be over. Let me look at my phone and figure out like who won. Oh shit, Yankees won. Nice, good to know. Thanks, man. Yankees is soccer, right? Yeah, something like that. Exactly. FC New York Yankees, sure.
Oh, you know what? One other album update I didn't get a chance to give last time. Because last episode was actually our first episode since Charlie Kirk. I have a bit written out for Clandestine Radio that is an NPR sketch. Specifically an NPR segment called All Fascists Considered. And it is an interview with this professor who has written this book about how empathy is the major cause of depression and anxiety among Americans. And that if they could just find a way to block that off, they would be so much better for it. I had never heard Charlie Kirk's famous empathy quote.
Turns on sampler.
He passed. Right?
My favorite three words in the English language.
That day, I saw that. I was like, oh, I know what's going smack dab in the middle of the NPR bit now.
Oh, that's outstanding and wow.
Like again, man, you know, the sampler has provided. I have been to the well, and the sampler has provided for me.
Damn.
But it really is, I do feel like we're not far from him saying, you know, if you can just block some of this stuff out and not care about other people so much, you'll be way happier. Like, just try that on for size.
Well, they've already got the replacement Charlie Kirk in place, by the way. His name is Breland, apparently. Whatever.
Dude, that guy, my uncanny valley is peeking over that kid. It's like, what's his name? Who was the last one? The squinty-eyed, kid.
Harry Sisson?
Yes, thank you. I'm really proud of myself that I've forgotten his name.
Yes,
I've touched a lot of grass lately, and it's completely gone.
Harry Sisson.
It's like if Harry Sisson accidentally jizzed into toxic waste, it would just bubble up and materialize and become Breland Harry Handler, Cherry Holder, whatever his fucking name is. Hanrahan. That kid is, that motherfucker's not real.
Dude, he's wearing
that motherfucker is not real.
First of all, the picture that the first time we ever were introduced to this kid, he's sitting in a private jet
watch.
With a $10,000 watch on his wrist, wearing a $250 Masters fucking golf polo shirt that my dad wouldn't wear. Maybe my dad would wear it, but not a teenage kid. I don't care how conservative you are. Like, come on, man. Like, he's there to appeal to the billionaire donor dudes, and it's like one of you but younger. That's what they're getting. And they're gonna parade this guy around, and he's another, you know, Zionist Israel sycophant.
Parade him around on a stick.
And
like to parade him around through a town square.
It's literally like they just turned back the clock a decade on Charlie Kirk. It's what was Charlie like back when we all loved him, you know? Like, that's kind of the way that in some ways you can kind of almost hear somebody saying, like, that's how in a lab, that's how they were like,
before he started thinking for himself ever. What do we Can we
Right.
print off a fresh version of like 2011 impressionable, young, smooth-skinned, fresh-faced?
It's really a little spooky that they can just factory
Mhm.
order those.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard somebody even make reference to, well, if you back up the timeline, Epstein was practicing eugenics and impregnating young women and thought he would live. Is this one of Epstein's kids? I see Jesse just had the thought for the first time. I just watched the realization hit Jesse's face. That was great. Oh God! Now I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a lot, and then there's a whole thing about the wife and the Trump pageant. And Nico's been going crazy. He had a video.
Yes.
He had a video that had 125,000 views on it already on YouTube. He's done live streams. He's found his thing that he can really sink his teeth into and expose that they're definitely lying about this. What the real answer is, to me, it's like the dress. Is it gold or is it blue? It doesn't really matter. It's the fact that you're talking about that and not about everything else. And focused on what happened versus what is happening. That at this point, and that it polarized everybody to have an opinion, a conversation, and it entrenched people to cancel, and start getting people fired. And all of a sudden, the right-wing cancel culture, they weren't, they were fine with cancel culture all of a sudden. Hey, how about that? But yes, Charlie, Nico has been all over this shit. So check out Nico House over on YouTube and over on Twitter. Yeah, it's been kind of crazy to see how everyone reacted to that. I mean, first of all, the fact that they showed it raw immediately, and the way it spurts out initially, you're just like, that looks like a squib. Like, it doesn't gush. It doesn't, like, is that normal? Again, I'm not a bullet guy. I'm not a gun guy, but I know that it didn't come out the other side. He's a machine. I mean,
it's amazing. He's so dense. He's like Superman.
There's so many questions that, and no autopsy. They did no autopsy on a murder, and they started cleaning it up within an hour, and now they have paved over the grass that was there. So it's like, how many more ways can you go to try to to try to do that? Yeah, that's funny. Vicky is saying to let you go because you're sick. I'm just letting him talk, man.
It turned out Charlie's head was just completely bone. It was completely, his skull was just completely dense bone.
Right? Mouse, having that raw footage on your phone is probably the best thing, because it's going to be memory hold, and it's been AI'd and replaced, and that motherfucker's not real. Like, that's AI is doing that now to the point where
when
you
that
don't
happened.
know.
So I had a horrible day at work, and I got home and my boss texted me. Well, my former boss, but she's still doing all the work now, bless her heart. She messaged me. She goes, "You hear about Charlie Kirk?" And I said, "I try not to hear about Charlie Kirk. What happened?" She was like, she said, "Shot, probably won't make it." I was like, "What?" And I go to Twitter and I put in Charlie Kirk, and the first post I see says, "Breaking news, Charlie Kirk loses gun debate." Like,
wow.
Twitter is still Twitter. Twitter does not miss. You have not wasted any time today.
Does not disappoint. Wow. Damn, dude. But yeah, Utah Valley University, apparently they've now either paved over or put paver stones or something.
Wow.
Right where the thing happened, which is, I was looking for it, but really, really crazy stuff. Like crime scenes. Yeah, giving away the hats after, like, there's so much weirdness with all of this. And then there was the WWE funeral quote revival
Yeah.
with the pyrotechnics. Oh, he loved fireworks.
Yep.
That's the smiling wife.
It was very interesting. And again, it's like, do I believe that people deserve to get shot for expressing their beliefs? No,
Of course not.
Is that the world we live in? If I was on a public platform every day and espousing that a whole lot of people like didn't deserve humanity, and the whole subsect of Americans were like subhuman, I would expect that would piss off a lot of people, and I would probably feel like I had a target on my back for it. That's the world we live in. If you have volatile opinions, people will have volatile reactions to them. And I've seen too many Palestinian kids that got shot through the neck to give a shit about someone that didn't care about any of those kids when it happens to him. That's not in me. I don't have the capacity for that anymore. That's where I'm at with it. So,
but there's also,
that was that night. I was like, huh. And then a few days later, I was like, legitimately, it was like, why are all the flags still at half-mast? 9/11 was days ago. I was like, oh, that's...
But I've also been hearing, that he actually kind of did, and that he was conflicted, and he saw what was happening.
Well,
and he's just like,
there was very late game, sure.
Very late
but
game.
But that was also after an awful lot of
almost 2
preaching
years
to all of your people about, how this is all necessary, how all these people don't, like whatever. So like, yeah, sure, you have a sudden realization, like bully for you, but it wouldn't surprise me at all that it's like, oh, as soon as you stray from the narrative, that you get put down. That tracks. That absolutely tracks. And then meanwhile, everyone here goes on their whole left, right, red, blue hero worship shit. And we fight amongst ourselves for a few weeks, and every other political podcaster in that sphere is like, well, I know what not to do. And here we are.
It was a very stark warning. Descendant Bloom saying she got yelled at for saying good when they were talking about it at work. She actually wrote an article and published it in the last couple of days about Turning Point USA and what they're doing in Oklahoma to take over the school agenda. And now dude, that's some scary stuff.
That shit is bleak.
So check out her Substack over there, descentedbloom.substack.com. And yeah, people were not happy.
Yep.
Steve was kind of on one, and he's still on one. Like, first of all, the left is so violent, cheering on, and this whole narrative about, look, celebrate. I didn't really see people celebrating. I mean, there were people that were kind of like...
There were people sympathetic, and there were people who didn't have sympathy. I'd say that's kind of what it boils down to.
He would say they were openly celebrating, and I would say it was more like a comeuppance than a celebration.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a poetic justice more than a celebration of what it was.
I tell you, what I got my big fucking fat I told you so sandwich that I got to mow down on was watching Jesse Wells say how that wasn't fair what happened to Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk shouldn't have died, but the United Health CEO, that guy had it coming. That guy, you reap what you sow. If you put negativity and death out in the world, then it comes back onto you. It's very interesting, the distinction that he makes, that your opinions in the political sphere shouldn't be able to come back on you at all, but that he also is like, well, the United guy, yeah, fuck that guy. They're not the same, but I was not surprised, especially with the rise that he's had lately, that it's like he can't get to keep having a good take about everything. He's gotten too popular for that. And I've never, I don't know, as soon as something starts getting that kind of exposure, it's like, I don't trust it. And I wasn't surprised in the least bit that I felt like he had a big inconsistency of personal policy on that one. That was very satisfying for me, if I'm being honest.
Well, but remember where we saw him say that too was on the Joe Rogan show, correct?
No, it was on
Oh.
it was like on a song. On a song
Jesse
he
Wells.
released. He had a whole
Yeah.
He had a whole Charlie Kirk song that Charlie shouldn't have died. Charlie doesn't deserve it. It could have been me. It could have been you. What if, what we're talking about gets us in trouble, blah, blah, blah. That is not the guy to use as your free speech is eroding and we're in danger, poster child. And Jesse Wells, of all people, should know that.
Right.
And if he willfully doesn't, then that should tell you something. So,
well, again, the Jesse, the wrong Jesse that's blowing up. Okay, the kid's talented, okay, incredibly, but it's how did that happen like that? Because somebody that talented that does that. I'm talking to someone just like that named Jesse that does that, and is so he got a friend somewhere that's elevating this. Was my point. This is not all natural and organic growth. It has very much in the same way, in some way, not quite the same, and you'll love this reference, but an Oliver Anthony style reference. Like, he's got more staying power, and he's certainly got more writing chops. But the way that this stuff explodes now every time he puts something out, and you just see it everywhere, it's nothing goes viral unless they want it to. Is what I have. Maybe that's I've been in this too long and I'm too jaded and I've seen too much, but I've clearly seen that it's really difficult for them to, for something that goes super viral, for it not to have been allowed to go super viral, because they have the mechanisms to throw the clamps on anything the minute they see it starting to. And we've seen that repeatedly too many times.
And it is, even if you come from a place of sincerity, which is his first few things he started putting out were very, very biting, very pointed. Well, once you get to a point where Rolling Stone has been praising you, where you've got this base to maintain, how do you not hit a point where something that you want to say goes against the interests of one of the many people helping keep you afloat and keep all this going for you? And that you're suddenly fouling your own nest by continuing to have that message, It's willfully obtuse to think that doesn't play into things once you're of a certain caliber and once you are performing at a certain tier, So once he started blowing up, I was like, oh man, it's gonna suck when he has to start watering down his message, But eventually, anything like that, if there's going to be a big platform, there will be inconsistencies if you want to keep that platform. And I promise all of you that if I ever get the opportunity to have some big platform, I will use it in as much as I can use it, and then just fucking use it to blow up my message one good time, and then, let the chips fall where they may. I'm not going to be able to keep it. But I will make the most of it for the brief bit of time I have it. I will absolutely make it fucking count.
Sure.
So, it's hard. I mean, obviously, if I get it, dude, if someone showed up and they were like, hey, here's this big fat check. If you can do what you're doing now, but at like 40% intensity, and here's a list of names you don't name, I'm sure that's very, very appealing and hard to say no to, but it's just one of those things that it's so hard to see and yet so inevitable when you get to a certain point. So
well, it's funny because
my double-digit Spotify listeners are keeping me honest. I promise.
The Seven Sign Soul
in my 46
over on Substack talking about how Israel is paying influencers $7,000 per post that Netanyahu referred this week to a community pushing out preferred messaging in U.S. media. Yep, I saw that. And even Kim Iverson, I think half tongue in cheek, was like, "Well, nobody's. I'll take that. I'll do that." I don't think that she actually would. Right? Yeah. Here, the Descendant of Bloom. The bigger my publication gets, the more people come at me for stupid shit. I get what you mean. I lost 5 paid subs for talking about genocide in Gaza last night. Fuck them. Yeah, we can't worry. Like,
and like that, who's subbed to you that doesn't expect you to talk about Gaza? Like that's preposterous. People
right?
are so ridiculous.
It is crazy, and it's like,
Well,
I have. We get a bunch of new signups, but what's funny is that 1 out of every 10 or 1 out of every 20, they unsub the day they subscribe. It's like, was it a mistake in the first? I always want to ask, but once they unsubscribe, you're not allowed to. And it's like, I'm just kind of curious, what the hell happened here? Like, did they just throw something at you when you hit a button by accident, or? Yeah, liberals, as I call them. That's right, shit libs. That's correct. One of these days it won't make her cringe, but it still does, or at least it used to. But yes, we were all liberal at one point, and then realized that liberal is just really one half step to not really being liberal. And it's occupying the space where the actual left can be and an opposition can be. So, I guess I'm gonna need to do like some kind of a clip show soon, because I've been jonesing here. Now it's been like a month since I've done a clip show, month or 6 weeks or so, and there's been no Jesse music. It's like, you've got to go back and listen to the old stuff if you want to hear it. There's still plenty of stuff I can cut up, especially from the newer episodes that didn't really only made it onto 1 or 2 clip shows before. But all right, everybody's yelling at me to let you go to sleep, so I'm gonna let you get out of here. You probably got to work tomorrow. I want to hang because
I do.
All right, guys.
I wish the days are coming where I can, like, I gotta be really, really fucked to actually call in. Because otherwise it's just so much more work for future Jesse. And that poor bastard, he's got it bad enough. So if I can, like, I still go in until they're like, hey, you look like death on a cracker, go home. And then I at least feel like I didn't, like, call in. I come in, you see how miserable I am. You see me, putter around and kind of at least cover the basics. And then once I feel like we're decent enough, then I'll bail. So fingers crossed to me be able to, like, rock a half day tomorrow. That would be dope.
Cool.
But otherwise, I'm gonna eat my Wheaties.
All right, fam.
Coffee.
Well, before we get out of here, let me do this. There's the Wall of Fame. We've added some people. Thank you. Cash App, $, Indie News Network. ko-fi.com/Indie News Network. We got paypal.me/Indie News Network. We've been live over at IndieNewsNow.com. There's a ton of news stuff, and there's merch. If you want to get Jesse Jett merch, there's a link to a merch store right there. And then we're live at INNnewsletter.com. That's where we've been live over at Substack and my Substack, IndieMediaToday.com. All different ways that you can support the show, and really appreciate you doing that. I missed doing the show. Glad to be back, and we'll be back who knows when. Stay tuned. And
soon.
Support independent media because we need it more than ever. And I love you all. See you soon, fam. Later.
Love you guys. Be safe.
Who are these people?
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days, and I still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to say. And when they told you everything was safe,
these people?